Today is a very special day because the one that is going to be sharing with us is someone very close to us and especially very close to you guys in your daily uh, routine as a Humify RT. And one of the highlights that when I think about this person that I remind myself, and I think it's quite funny, even though it's not funny, is that he has the tendency of doing jokes that he's the only one that laughs about it all the time. Like he plays around, and I'm like, is this supposed to be funny? Or am I supposed to laugh during the meetings that I'm part with him? So he's a joker, like he plays around, but he's a man full of the Holy Spirit. He's he's led by the Holy Spirit, and he always brings so much to the table and share his heart and his knowledge. And he's always looking ahead in order to make each one of us grow in our roles. And I don't know if you know that, but he really cares for you guys. Like he actually cares for you guys on the back end, and he makes sure that your voice is heard and taking into accountability. So yeah, you guys know, no further discussion. Today we're gonna be hearing and listening from Marcus. And yeah, welcome. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Aline. And yes, okay, I'm a joker, and you're right. Many times I used to ask myself, okay, is that the right moment to make a joke? But I just accepted that this is part of myself in a sense, So, anyways, thank you so much for this introduction. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Once again, just reminding that it's important to have the cameras on and open. So this way we can see your faces there. All right. Today we're going to be talking about phases, right? What phases you are in. Let me open a presentation here, so it will help me as well. Here we go. You are always in a phase. Just also a reminder, I will probably won't see your faces, okay, while I'm presenting. So I will count on Soraya and Aline as well to help me with any questions. We have the comment section there. I will also have a Q&A. So there's an opportunity for you to share your comments, your thoughts, right? So let's get started with this topic. Okay. You're always in a phase. All right. If you look to yourself at this moment, at the current situation you are, do you have like a clear understanding of the season and the necessary steps to go to another level? Let's think about this question. Like, what do you know? Like, do you know the season you are in, or are you just passing through? That's a question that we use to make not only the business environment, but also in the personal and spiritual life as well. So to get started with this topic, I have some things to discuss here. Once again, I want to make this question to yourselves. If someone wants to bring any comment or to say something, I really want to listen from you guys. And that's something we're trying to do during the stand-ups as well. So it's important for you to mention, to say something, no matter if in the business, once again, maybe in your personal life. Do you really know what season you are in, or are you just pushing through? Who wants to start speaking or saying something about it? I know that we have 15 people here in the room, and I really want to listen from at least one person here.
I can go.
Please, go ahead, Gabby.
Hi, thank you. So you're asking if I know what season I'm in, or if I'm just pushing through.
Exactly.
I do know the season that I'm in. Sometimes what happens is sometimes I do know, professionally speaking, the season that I'm in, and sometimes I'm not very aware of my personal one. So this balance I'm trying to find currently, finally, I feel like I know the season that I'm in, not just professionally wise, but also in a personal level, being a wife, a mom, a leader in our church. So I even shared with you in our previous health check that I was like, I finally feel like I stepped into this moment like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I finally understand and I feel, and now I'm able to tackle everything well because I know the exactly season that I'm in.
Thank you so much for sharing, Gabby. And yes, that's it. Okay, I understood the phase where I am at this moment. But another question that comes in my heart is, do you know the next season? Do you know the next step? Do you know the next phase? Can you see the phase that you are at this moment? And do you have clarity on the next steps or what to do next? Or do you have the tendency to be stagnated? So pretty much that's the things that we're going to be discussing here in this stand-up. So the leadership responsibility, self-awareness. So it's always important for us to ask ourselves about this. And just a reminder is that growth doesn't happen by accident. Every leader, team, organization is constantly moving through phases. The key to sustaining success is knowing which phase you are in and adjusting accordingly. So things happen in each step, in each phase, in each season, and it's necessary for us to make the necessary adjustments, but having the clear understanding of the phases we are at this moment, in. So one of the most critical responsibilities of any leader is the ability to regularly assess what season am I in, what phase is this team or project in, what needs to change, what needs to stay consistent. So pretty much when I talk about leadership, I'm not talking only regarding the hierarchy in the company, etc. We must be leaders for ourselves because, as I said, this goes to the business, but also to the spiritual environment, to your personal life as well. You have people around you. You are having connection around you, connections. You have people that not only depends, if I could say, but people that are somehow connected to you. And so it's necessary to have this sense of self-awareness and leadership responsibility, understanding the season you are in at this moment, the phase specifically regarding the business environment, the team or the project you are working on is if it's necessary to change something. Anyways, you can't lead well if you don't know where you are. When I was studying this topic here, I was thinking about the comfort zone and the tendency that we have to be in comfort phases. Something that I learned from a pastor in the church is that when you feel that things are okay, things are smooth, things are quite okay, not so many changes, things are so not stagnated somehow, because many times we don't see things as stagnated. But things are so smooth, not so many changes, no surprises, no challenges. So that's maybe the right moment for you to evaluate, to change, to seek for new opportunities, to grow and to elevate yourself. I wrote down something here. Life is about constant moving, and evaluation is the gateway to consistent elevation. And as a believer, I do believe that this is part of our life. It's common to say that life is too normal or too stagnated, something is wrong, And once again, this applies for the organization, the place you're working, the people around you, your personal growth, and the relationships and influence also. Consistent evaluation is the gateway to consistent elevation. That's important to keep in mind. And so we're always talking about phases and growing phases. And what are the three classic phases of growth? And I relate this to seeds. So I believe that each phase in our life, it's also, it can be related to the seeds that we are planting, So let's go to the first phase of this process, which is growth and initiation. That's the moment when you're starting something new. So that's the moment where, no matter if in your role, the business, goal, season in your life, it's the moment where, okay, I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to start something new. I'm eager to learn something new. I am planning something extraordinary. I have plans to change the world, or even my demands here in my role, in my daily life, in the business. Okay, I believe that something here can be different. I believe that I can do something else. During the health checks, I used also to ask you guys always, do you have a project? Do you have an idea to change or to, to help the organization somehow? So that's the moment where you're planning something, where you are, okay, I do have a plan. I do want to do something. And that's the moment for you to start growing. It's the initiation phase of the process. It's the moment where you are learning and you are like a sponge. You are open to absorb the knowledge. You are open for new challenges. You're just there, all the energy, all your effort, your mind, your brain is working on absorbing things. Everything is excited. Everything is a possibility. You are open for experimentation. You are open for challenges, innovation. Beatrice, I think she's not here, but I would say that it's something that she used to say. It's like the honeymoon. That's the first moment. It's the moment where everything is pleasant. There is no trouble. There is no problems. There is no issues. You are open to absorb things, etc. Okay, it's everything is fresh. Everything is new. Everything is awesome and exciting. But we must be careful on this moment as well, because we can try to rush through this phase, and we cannot forget that these things that we are learning there will shape the journey, will shape all the project, will shape the entire journey that we have through these phases. So I would say that focus at this moment is really important, because if you open so many branches, if you go to so many details of things extraordinary, then you lost the focus. So it's always necessary for us to have focus on the things. Of course, it's important to learn. Of course, it's so important. It's good to have this excitement. It's always good to seek for new knowledges, but to have a focus, it's essential. Okay, what are the things that I want to achieve in the end of the process? What are the things that I want to achieve in the end of this phase? Going also to the personal life, that's something that used to happen in the end of the year. We all make plans. We all think about how it's going to be the next season. By the way, we are finishing June, so I'm starting to think about the end of the year and why not the next year. So it's time for us to think about these things, etc., business-wise, personal life as well. But what are the focus? And many times people used to get lost along the way. So what happened through the way that makes people get lost and many times don't accomplishing the things that were planned, making this, comparing this to the annual plans that we have. Many times the first months of the years are always excited. Everything is good. I'm doing exercises. I'm going to the gym. I started a new course. But we all know that it's really common by the middle of the year. So from June, even May, okay, I'm not going to the gym anymore. I'm not studying that thing anymore. So what happened along the way? So that's the first moment where we must have focus on what is necessary. I'm starting something new. I'm studying this. I'm planning this. But there's a purpose. There's a focus. There's something in the end. And once again, what you learn here in the first phase will shape your entire journey. So we must focus on the end of things as well. Going to the second phase, we have the consolidation and foundation building. So, okay, the first excitement, the honeymoon was there, but now the dust started to settle down. It's time for consolidation and think about stability. To grab everything you learned, to grab all the first experimentation, the possibilities, that excitement, and turn into something real, practical, that will endure. So, okay, the first phase has gone. What do I have now? What are the knowledges that I have now? What can be implemented? What can be, in fact, be established and grounded to endure? So once again, it's important to have a focus. It's important to have a target, something you want to achieve. So that's the moment where you will be established trust and credibility. That's the moment where, okay, you grab all the knowledge, everything that you had, everything that you learned, all the plans that you imagined, even the craziest one. And now it's the time for you to bring something real, trust, credibility. rhythms, process, systems, learning from past mistakes and becoming consistent, which means that after having all the knowledge, you can also remind of old plans, different plans that you had in the past and didn't work well. So now you can evaluate and see, okay, how can I make things different, uh, and make these things in a clear process and systems. It's not only ideas, but how can I put this into practice? In the business environment, here at Humify, we are building SOPs all the time. So system operation process. That means that, okay, we have ideas, we have brainstormings, but in practicality, how will we establish those things? How will those things endure and have process systems? That's crucial for us as a company, as business. That's crucial. But why not to think also in our personal life? And when I say that, I'm not talking only as a leader, as thinking about the hierarchy. We understand that we have leaders, but even for us as remote workers in the places where we are at this moment, do we have like clear process and systems? So we should not be waiting only on our leadership and people to start doing things. We can have this in mind, and ourselves we can start doing things here. Process, establishing things. Okay, do I understand the process here and there? Let me take notes. Let me establish a process, a flow chart or something. So that's the moment where you bring things in reality. And that's also the moment where many people stall. That's the moment, the crucial moment where people stop innovating and growing, not because they are not talented. It's not related to your capacity of doing things, but because you think that you've made it, that things are done, and that's the end of the line. But actually not. It's not because you establish a process, it's not because you establish a system that that's the end of the line. There is another phase that comes. So still here in the second phase, you cannot move on. You cannot go to another phase if things are not rooted. It's not really grounded. And the key point here is to grow deep roots. The thing here, it is to learn from the past mistakes, to make things different, and to establish the roots. You cannot produce lasting results without taking time to grow deep roots, right? So once again, going to the seeds and the sower, comparing it, it's all about going to deep roots. And which is funny because many times when you are thinking about a seed, you don't see the roots. Things are growing down there, and it has so many things growing and being nurtured there down, and the plant cannot be seen yet. So the results cannot be seen so clear at this moment because we're establishing the systems, and we should not be excited or thinking about the results without having these things clear, you know. And all right, let's think about that the process, the systems, the rhythms, everything are established. So you grab all the ideas that brainstorming part and brought to reality. You brought to the system, you established something. And what comes next? So knowing that this is not the end of the line, that's not the end of the process, what comes next? And it's more about maturity. It's about advancements. Uh, let's think that you consolidated your foundation. This phase is about scale, influence, and legacy. It's time for you to let your own mark and to think about how will I be remembered in the future. And once again, comparing to the business environment, of course, we want to have a long journey here in the places where we are. We want to be with the contracts like a long journey, of course. But what are going to be the mark in the future if something happened? Who will Marcos be remembered to be? As Aline introduced myself. Okay, I used to make jokes, but also take care of the remote talents. Who is going to be myself? What is the legacy that I'm letting things? So this is all about accountability. That's about who we are. And once again, it's not about the leadership in hierarchy things. In this place where I am sitting now, in this ordinary job that I'm doing here, how can I be remembered in the future? How will people think about, okay, there was a guy here called Marcos that worked in our company. He stayed for this or that time, but he left a mark. There's process, and we can remind of him this way. So it's always important for us to remember about the legacy, right? At this phase, you stretch your capacity, you operate with greater strategic clarity, you lead others and reproduce impact. It's all about being an influence to the environment where you are. You stop failing at the basics because they've become instinctual. And this is maturity. You brought resilience. You're growing in resilience, understanding that you are in another phase, uh, and you grow, right? You are not in maturity unless your growth is impacting others. So that's the thing. The things that you do, the systems and the process that you are establishing, the ideas that you have, must not be to you yourself only, but must impact the others. You must understand the organization as an organization, and what you do here will impact the other one there. And so, how can you team up? How can you work as a team? And how can you positively influence people around you, right? And once again, this is business, but also in your personal life. Okay, what I do here will impact the others there. So I must be this one who replicates, who is there to impact others with positive influence. And it's not about performance only, it's about reproduction. Your leadership begins to multiply beyond you. And I was even thinking about the fingerprints. What are the fingerprints you are leaving at this moment in this phase of your life, you know? Um, and here we go with two different, like, true and false progress, right? But before, I just want to know if everybody is getting things, if you have any comment, question about this. We have, once again, the comment section there, the Q&A as well. Just raise hands, okay? Sorry, Aline, just help me to understand this. But pretty much that's it. We have three phases. The first one, you have the ideas, the thing that is not really real there. The second one is when things start to be really real, tangible, and then you can create established process and rhythm. And the third one is about legacy. It's when you grow, you have maturity, and you move on. And that's the moment where you create legacy. Okay, I grab all this knowledge and the things that I produced. It's not only for myself, it's to replicate. I want to impact the others. And this is the moment where we also see if we are growing, if we are enough maturity, we have enough maturity to see the company, as I can help you, you can help me, and we can grow together. As I used to say, if I grow, the company grow, everybody grows, and that's the purpose for everybody to be growing together, healthy. I want to talk about true and false progress before moving to the end. There is a big difference between the true consolidation, that is there where you've grown deep roots, adapted through challenges, and stabilized it well, and the superficial progress, which is where you've skipped steps, avoided reflection, and move it too fast. It's interesting to think about that because we have the tendency to avoid these reflections. We have a tendency to move too fast, trying to skip important steps and avoiding critical reflection. Many times it's those things that, okay, I really don't want to touch this because it's like, oh my gosh, it would demand on me like so much critical reflection, thinking I will also maybe be wrong in my thoughts. Okay, maybe I gave this idea, but it's not a good idea. I really don't want to go deep into that because I can be wrong. So we have the tendency to escape those things and move too fast, right? I have the idea and I want to make a legacy, but there is a process in the middle, and we must respect the process in our lives. If you avoid the hard middle, you undermine your long-term potential. So many times the projects, the things and the ideas that we have are not consolidated, are not good enough. And why? Because we don't take time to have critical reflection on how will those things impact the others, and we try to skip these important steps. So it's really important for us to avoid those things. So once again, where you've grown deep roots, adapted through challenges, and stabilized it well, that's the true consolidation. But if you skip steps, avoid reflection, and move too fast, it's the superficial progress. You think there is a progress, you think that you've done something, but it will not endure. It will not have a legacy. You cannot move to this so long. And as believers, we must think about that, as it is written in Ecclesiastes 3. I believe everybody knows that there is a time for everything, time and a season for every activity. So time to build, time to pause, time to speak up, time to listen deeply, time for starting, and time to letting go. So moving to the end, it's all about leadership, knowing that leadership means knowing which time you are in and not forcing growth when what's needed is grounding. And that's the place where many people lacks, there are gaps on these things, because you are trying to move fast, you are trying to make things happen, you are eager to do things. Okay, I really want this project to come alive, and I have an idea that can change the world. But if the roots, if the things, if the details are not grounded, this will not last. This will not endure. That's like forcing growth. And that's not healthy at all. I would advise you not to skip the phase you are in. Every phase is preparing you for what's next. And we have this as well. And when we feel that after the third phase, things are getting too comfortable or smooth, that's the moment for you to seek new challenges, for you to go back to the first phase. So as I said in the beginning, okay, I have an idea and etc. That comes before I'm feeling I'm in a comfort zone. I'm feeling things are too much okay. I was even thinking about the believer's life. Okay, the believer's life is always a challenge. I was talking to a friend these days ago. It was like, come on, there is no peace in our lives. There are not moments where we can, stop and think, all right, now things are okay, now things are good. Every single day is a challenge. Every single day is it's something new, or a new challenge, or a new issue, or a problem to be solved. But we must enjoy the seasons. We must enjoy these steps. We must respect the time, and we must respect the season we are living in. There is always a challenge, but if we look to the hope of establishing the process, that's really interesting. The process becomes interesting, because you're building legacy to the future. All right. So everything said, the three phases, everybody knows. So what are the action steps for this week? And that's something I want to challenge yourselves, guys, everybody here, to see these three steps. Which phase you are, knowing that for you to access the basics and invest in understanding your foundations. Where are your roots? Don't just know your task, understand the broader context. So, okay, in your business environment, understand the foundation. What are you doing there? What are the deep things that you must do? Even though you have an idea or something, but first let's just access these things. Evaluate your roots, evaluate what's their position. It's necessary to start by this, and honor the middle. Give consolidation its time. Observe, build trust, learn the structure and rhythm of your space. And then self-evaluate consistently. That's something that's not quarterly, because we used to have things quarterly or weekly or during 6 months, whatever, but must be something constant. And it's a constantly self-evaluation. What's working, what's not working, where I'm stuck, who can I learn from? So always trying to find inspiration and understanding what can be the next phase. Do not be comfortable in the place where you are at this moment. Always look for something new. Always look for inspiration. Always look to impact the others and to make the difference here in the phase you are. And make this evaluation as a habit, not only a quarterly task. And don't forget, every phase matters. The phases that feel slow or hidden are often the most important ones. Let your growth be rooted, intentional, and lasting, not rushed or surface level. To finish, your greatest impact will come when you lead from depth, not just momentum. So pretty much that's it I would bring here. Respect time, respect phases, and that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for that. If you have any comments, if you have any Q&A, let
Questions.
me bring here.
We do.
For sure.
We do have one. Can you hear me?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a question here, which is, in your opinion, what's the best way to deal with anxiety of initiating something and willing it to succeed while success is not a certain thing?
I'm sorry, I was closing here. In your opinion, what's the best way to deal with the anxiety of initiating something and willing it to succeed while success is not a certain thing? Of course, that comes from the first phase, and so that's the moment where you must be grounded. And please let me know if it makes sense. But you must, many times when you're in the first phase of ideas, of brainstorming and things that are not real yet, that's a tendency that we have to make extraordinary things, and, crazy ideas, and things that sometimes doesn't make sense at all. So that's the first moment where the anxiety must come, with crazy ideas. So I believe that's the reason why the second phase is so important, because that's a moment where you're gonna put things in practicality. Okay, what is real? What can be really done or not? And this will avoid you to be anxiety. That will avoid you to be frustrated in the future as well, because anxiety, when it's not, when things are not going to the place where you want, it comes frustration. So if you have things established, if you have systems, if you have something rooted and grounded, so then you will avoid this anxiety, and you will be the success will be certain, because you have things grounded, because you have things in place, you have the systems, you have things in practicality. So I do believe that if you not only have ideas, but something with rooted things rooted and well established process, then this success will come. And when we think about success, we also think about the time. And that's also something, okay, do not expect things to happen immediately. Things will not happen immediately. Respect the times and the seasons, because success is also something subjective. What do you expect to be a success? It's something extraordinary. But if you achieve someone, or if one thing and one idea that you had, it was positive and impacted someone, so I do believe it's success. So maybe before answering this question, it's important to evaluate what is success for you. What is success in your opinion, and what do you want to achieve with this success? All righty, guys. Pretty much. Thank you so much for that. So I have all the lessons here, the homework for this week. Access the basics, honor the middle, and self-evaluate consistently. And I hope that you took something for your life, not only the business, not only for your job, but also for your personal life as well. Okay?